Okay.
Welcome to the WHTOO's channel. We have a wonderful conversation coming up with Miss Jamiah Mott. She is owner of J Mott Beauty, but also known as Hairstyles by J Mott. Now, first of all, for those new to the channel, let me tell you what WHTOOO stands for. WHTOOO stands for we have to own our own shit. Now, not the profane shit. This is spelled SHYT. And the S stands for scalability, because we don't just want to start a business, we want to grow a business. The H stands for honoring the ancestors whose shoulders we stand upon. The Y stands for you are your brand. A person is going to buy you before they buy any product or service you offer. And the T stands for tenacity, because being an entrepreneur is not for the faint of heart. Now, let me start off by telling you guys are going to be very impressed and you're in for a treat. I came across this young lady as I was sitting on the advisory board at my daughter's school, and she is an alumni of that particular school. I was so impressed on how she handled the room where obviously we were in the minority. I was the only African American male in the audience, and she handled the room like a champ. And I was so impressed being the girl dad with raising three daughters here at home. I said I had to get her on the channel. And with that being said, Jamiah, welcome and thank you for making time out of your busy schedule. I know that you were working and busy, and we had some scheduling conflicts because, hey, it is what it is, and this is the life of an entrepreneur. But welcome to our channel. How are you today?
I'm well. Thank you for having me on. I'm really appreciative of the opportunity that you're giving me today, and I'm happy to tell my story and talk my ish. No, I'm playing.
Right. Hey, and we're happy to hear it. And so let's start off by just jumping right in. And what got you into the hair industry?
Honestly, I wasn't supposed to be. Well, let me not say wasn't supposed to be because I was destined to be. But hair was not my passion in the beginning. I actually wanted to be in the fashion industry. It just so happened I was playing basketball in college and I became the only hairstylist on campus. So hair became like a habitual thing for me to make money and pay for school. And then because I went to school during COVID, things didn't turn out how I wanted to. So I ended up going back home and doing it there, getting an opportunity to do hair there. My mom always told me that it's important that if you're going to be doing something, at least career wise, that you need to go to school and get the education behind it so that, you're respected in the industry of whatever you're doing. So I ended up taking that route and then starting my hair journey from there.
Now, I want you, ladies and gentlemen, to understand, and this young lady has her building, she has multiple things going on. That's why I was like, oh, this is just not somebody, and not to knock that if it was somebody in the backyard braiding somebody's hair up. She has employees, she's hired interns and all of that. So you had like a unique story you were telling about you just wasn't doing typical hair. You had a concern about the healthiness of the hair, but not only that, the confidence and how that appearance was making people feel. So could you dive into that a little more, please?
Yes, I feel like having your hair done isn't like it's not just a thing that you do. Like it's your lifestyle, it's your confidence, it makes you feel good. So, my number one thing that I have that I tell everyone in my salon that works under me is no one should leave the chair like dissatisfied because there's always like a solution to taking care of the hair. A lot of these people nowadays, especially stylists, I mean, if you guys don't know, the hairstyles industry is oversaturated, but it's not oversaturated with the people who have education behind it. So my goal here at the salon is to teach that education so that people's hair is healthy. Now, I will say most people they think that wearing their hair is and putting in a protective style is all you need to do, but that's not it, because your hair can still come out, come undone, break off if it's not hydrated and taken care of properly. It's like a foundation. If you build a foundation, if the foundation of your house is unstable, then the house is going to fall. It's the same thing with hair. So I basically, like, you have to make sure that you're treating and taking care of your foundation of your hair as like the base, if that makes sense. I'm sorry, I'm trying to figure out like how I want to explain what I'm talking about. um
No, no, you're
I'm
doing.
sorry,
No, no,
I don't know exactly what specific question like you want
no,
me to
no,
like.
no, no. You're doing phenomenal. And what I'm curious to know is, so once you decided that, okay, hey, I'm here at school, I'm doing a lot of people's hair. What inspired you to make it into a business?
Just seeing people come in and leave the chair happy and confident in who they are and finding an identity within themselves, that's what made me want to turn it into a business. And then watching how, I guess, I learned and wanted to teach other people how to do that, that's kind of what made me push the business. My mom's always told me that I'm destined to be a teacher. I always deny it, but I feel like now that I've had my employees come in and interns and seeing how they've transitioned from not knowing anything at all to becoming the most book stylists in the salon and, making their money and expanding themselves, that right there is what it's all about. It's like the community you build within like what you know and what you're taught, so that you can like pass it along and share it, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. So, what was one thing that might have took you by surprise when you were like, okay, well, I'm going to start a business now. So, all right, let's go. So, what took you by surprise, or what was you shocked like, wow, this is more than I anticipated?
No. Ooh. It's the things that you don't know that you need to know that get people. Because, a lot of us, when it comes to business, we're thinking surface level. We're not thinking like deep beneath the surface of like all the small things that create the big things in the building. For example, like the bills, like the I guess inspections, things like that. Just keeping the business running as a whole, monthly payments, things like that. I would say that really took me by surprise. And I still, even to this day, don't know things that I need to know, but trying to handle those things even whenever it can hinder what you're doing in the moment or cause you to be set back, if that makes sense.
So, what is when you first started, and I know you had mentioned something about, okay, you thought it was going to be like just going right in the shop, you'd be able to knock out hair, and then you had all these other things that was coming your way. Did that discourage you, encourage you, and how did you overcome those challenges?
I would say it was a little bit of both, because when I first started, I there was a point in time where I was like, what did I get myself into? But at the same time, I knew that at the end of the day, at any point in time, I could stop what I was doing, go back and do a regular job and never maxed out to where my full potential could be. Like, you go to a job, you're only maxing out so much money. Yeah, you might get a raise, but you'll never reach past the max that they have in that business. So I wanted to be able to maximize my business and provide opportunities for other people. So, what really kind of like got me there was when I worked in the other salon. The other salon that I had worked in, I was they weren't as busy and they weren't doing as well before I had came. And they told my clients and them tell me all the time that, I had changed the dynamic of the salon, because even to this day, like, clients from there will still come to see me. And I realized that I was working so hard, making so much money. And then when I seen like how much money I had brought into the business and how much money I actually had, it devastated me. So that right there motivated me to start my own business. And I told myself that I would not fail, because at the end of the day, I was putting in that work into that other business by myself. So I knew that if I can handle that, then I can handle it on my own. And honestly, the business by itself really took me by surprise, because it was like God sent for me. Like, the way that things transitioned, it all transitioned smoothly. Like, I might not have known what I needed to know, but I was able to I guess sustain myself, I guess, easier, if that makes sense. Now, yes, things came along the way, but the way that the transition happened made it seem like it was for me, if that makes sense.
So, what? And I heard you mention, and you brought some of your stylists up to the meeting when you spoke. as well as you had some interns from the actual school.
Hmm.
What made you decide to go back and actually, have that heart to go back and pull people from the community? What inspired that?
Um, I'm a I'm somebody who's very like observant and aware of my surroundings. So I like to I can look at a person and tell whether or not I feel like they're destined for greatness or will take what they're doing or their craft seriously. I really hone in on those things when it comes to people. So what really started the whole thing was one of my stylists. Her name is Deja. She was in high school. I had met her through some friends. I was working on some hairstyles, and she came over and she was just like, "I love doing hair. What are you doing?" It just started off as a simple conversation, and I seen that the more I was talking about what I was doing, she became more interested. But she never knew that she what opportunities hair could bring. She thought it was just like a side gig or something you could just do. She never realized how much money she can make doing hair. So I ended up having her come on. She would come. She was in high school, so she would only come on her breaks. And they get breaks every season or so. And so she was coming along, just learning, watching me do things, helping me braid down the small things. And during the time, I was paying her a little bit of what I could at the time because I had just started, so I was making a lot. And she realized that like she was getting better and able to make money, so that kind of made me want to bring other people in. For a long time, it was just me and her walking, like for like a year and a half, almost 2 years straight, if that makes sense. It wasn't until getting to my like second year to third year that I really started to have more people come in. But a lot of people were watching me and how I was dealing with her, and they kind of started honing in. But I'm a very community based person, so if I see that you're good at something or you're passionate about something, I'm gonna kind of put fire behind you to go ahead and do it because I've done it. I'm a spitting image of the impossible being possible, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's awesome. So how long have you had your own business? How long has it been now?
It's been about 3 years. I'm happy. I'm here.
Yeah. So you've actually you've met the breaking point. Usually they say a business is going to succeed or fail within the first 3 years. So you've
Yeah, failure was not an option. It was not.
it never is. We can't have that. So with that being said, what do you consider to be your biggest loss, and what was your biggest disappointment?
I would say my biggest loss. I mean, honestly, is a loss really a loss without it becoming a win? Like that's how I look at it. But I
Sweet,
would say, huh?
sweet. That's sweet, sweet.
No, it really is because at the end of the day, like the things that I've lost or the things that's hindering me, clients, whether or not it's clients that have not come back, whether or not it's just setbacks, all of them have taught me how to handle the next thing, if that makes sense. So I say like I would say yes, there may have been setbacks, but there have not been any losses there.
And what about your biggest disappointment? Because I know with me, when I started one of my businesses,
Hmm.
first thing that I thought was, hey, all my family and friends are going to come and support. They're going to be there. I'm going to kill it. I was saying, hey, I'm in two fraternities. I'm a Kappa. I'm a Mason. I got a wide spectrum of people to choose from. And you'd be surprised, or maybe you won't be surprised, that that always isn't the case. So, did you encounter any of that?
Oh, absolutely. I would say, yeah, you don't get as much support in the beginning. And I will say too, when I first started my business, I really had to do a lot of it alone, if that makes sense, because a lot of friends and family, they have things going on. But absolutely, not everyone is going to support you that you think are going to support you. But at the same time, I feel like the clientele that I did get ended up making up for the loss from family and friends who never did support me.
And I'm sure now that you're successful, they're coming around now, and they want to be down, you know,
Yeah, and guess what? They getting charged too.
as well as they should.
Yeah.
So now, what has been on that polar opposite? What has been one of your biggest wins or one of your biggest successes?
I would say just like people's experience and just having a team overall, having people to support me and just be a part of my business, whether or not it's clients, whether or not it's my employees. That's been the biggest win so far, and being able to expand into using this business as the foundation of the things that I'm going to accomplish in the future or I'm working on as we speak.
How many stylists do you currently have?
There is a total of 7 of us.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's me. So you're providing a lifestyle and a living for 7 individuals, and that's not including your interns, right?
No, that is including our interns.
Okay.
So as
Okay.
far as well, I still consider them stylists because they're still working on their part. Like they're interns, but they're still hands on, if that makes sense.
Okay.
So I mean, but as far as stylist wise, it would be about 4 of us.
All right. So what does Black excellence mean to you?
Oh, black excellence is everything. I feel like black excellence is not just like a saying; it's a standard. I feel like well, I can only, I mean, speak, I can speak from my experience. Like, for example, my business right now in the area is the only black African American like salon in my area of Ackward. Like, you probably could get closer to a Kennesaw and find one like that, but like in this area, I am not only the youngest, but I'm the only black hair salon right here in this area. So I would say that's a big deal, especially in a community where it's predominantly white. That also has been a challenge too, actually. Being able to get multicultural people in the salon. I've dealt with some racism and things like that in the salon. People coming in, like white people coming in and just being like, "Oh, you can't do my hair," or "I'm not letting you touch my hair," or things like that. So I feel like it's a stamp. Black excellence is a stamp.
Okay. All right. And I know some of the other things you have going on. I know you mentioned fashion, and you have a big fashion show that's coming up on the
I
11th, correct?
do.
So
Yes, I do.
how did that come about that you said, hey, let me go able and veer back into what my original passion was, and then how did you forge those together?
Well, being a hair salon owner and a hairstylist, sometimes it can get a little tiring doing the same thing and styles over and over again. So I needed a little outlet to kind of like stretch out my, I guess, talents. Like I said, I did always want to be a fashion designer prior to me being a hairstylist. And I started to learn that, the fashion industry also is, full of creatives. My friend is actually a fashion designer herself. She went to SCAD, graduated, and got her degree in fashion. And then I'm also a hairstylist. We were always working together on like little projects. Anytime she would have a fashion show, she would have me come out and do hair. And one day I was just like, the business mindset of me. I'm like, why don't we just start our own brand and kind of host our own show? And she was like, that's a good idea. But at the time, I was really pushing for her because I wanted her to get out of her zone. Because I already had my niche. I was a hairstylist. I had a salon. I was cool with just being on the sidelines. But she had brought me to the forefront and was like, let's just bridge the gap between hair and fashion. So that's how we came up with our brand, Roots to Runway.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. And it's like, there's like a deep meaning to it because, hair and fashion do align, but those are the two things that kind of make up someone's confidence and like creativity. Like you can really express yourself through those two things. And there's a lot of history that goes along with it as well.
Well, I'm glad you mentioned that because I'm going to be piggybacking off of your friend because we went to me and my oldest daughter. She just turned 18. We went to SCAD's open house because she's
Oh.
a artist. I mean, she can draw her butt off, and
She
so
needs to do Rising Star. That's how you get started. That scholarship, the Rising Star scholarship is the way to go.
yeah, yeah, that's what they was telling us about. And so this whole thing is just it's so impressive. When I see a young sister out here doing these things and doing great things, which by the way, I will be at the fashion show and I'll be doing
Hey, I'm excited. Thank you.
I'll be doing some recording that since you had mentioned that to me and talking to some of your people and saying, hey, now just how really nice is Jemiah? Or is she a taskmaster? Is she cracking that whip on people and things of that nature? But not only that, as I mentioned, I got 3 daughters and they have hair that's down their back, but during the summertime they like to get it braided up. So we're going to have to get an appointment to come on by and check it out. And
Absolutely.
I definitely look forward to that. And so, with all of that being said, what would you do differently from when you first started out? Or would you say, hey, the trajectory I've been on has been great. I wouldn't change anything, but would you do anything differently, knowing what you know now?
Yes, I would. So, and I feel like this is something a lot of people need to, especially young people need to know. When I started my business, I wouldn't have started my business using my money. I didn't know anything about credit. I didn't know anything about starting a business. I didn't know anything about loans and things of that nature. So I literally started off spending all of my money instead of like, maybe using what I needed or getting credit for what I needed and then paying it back over time. So on from that aspect, I needed to now like you're having to build back up what you had lost. Yes, it's an investment, but I'm learning, and I know this is kind of like personal a little bit, but like I would have done it that way and earned cash back on some of the things versus just spending all my money and not, you know, not like just I don't know how to explain it. Like I wish I would have had the education behind. I would have had more education, and then I would have also did more research on the smaller things about business versus just jumping into it head forward and not knowing.
We call that working with OPM, other people's money. So,
Yeah, you have to work with other people's money. And I wish I would have known what I know now because I would have definitely been way ahead of time.
but again, as you said, it was an investment in yourself. And the thing
Hmm.
is, and I try to tell young entrepreneurs, we don't want to get caught in the paralysis of analysis because sometimes we do so much trying to be in search of perfection that we wind up becoming stagnant. And so the
Hmm.
thing is, you got out here, you got it rolling, you made it happen. It's been 3 years later. You got
Hmm.
people working for you. I mean, so yeah, you've done a hell of a job. Now, I usually don't ask this because I was raised by women and they say never ask a woman's age. Do you want to tell the audience how old you are and what the now if not, it's no big deal.
No,
But
you're fine.
to show how
So,
great you are and what you're doing at such a young age, because you are my youngest guest to this point.
oh wow. Oh,
Yes.
that makes me nervous. I'm like, I'll start off by saying I did open my business at the age of 21 and I am now 24. And I'll be turning 25 this year. So yeah, it's definitely been a work in progress. And yes, things have not been perfect along the way. And I understand too, um, with the business, like I literally furnish this business with like things from Goodwill and things of that nature. So I understand what it's like to like build a business and be young and not have any money or feel like you don't have any money to support you, but anything is possible.
And so we're gonna wrap it up with this last one.
Okay.
What do you want? What's the lesson that you want other entrepreneurs, whether they be young, old, to take away from your story?
Um, you are the blueprint. I would say that you are the blueprint of your life. So whatever you are interested in or whatever your niche is, or even if it's a hobby, invest in yourself and make those things happen for yourself. Don't worry about all the logistics and things like that because at the end of the day, what's meant for you is going to be meant for you, and as long as you put hard work in, you're going to get everything that you need out of it. A lot of people nowadays, like, they think they start things and they don't finish, but you have to push through the hard things and you have to keep going, take the setbacks and make the major comebacks and just continue to push through because at the end of the day, the outcome is always going to be amazing as long as you're putting that work in. Nothing can stop you, and you have to keep that mentality. You have to remember you are the brand. People want to see you, so just make sure that you're putting yourself out there and you're promoting yourself, and don't take no for an answer.
There we go. And so, is there anything else that you want to promote? Anything you have going on? You can let the audience know how to contact you, information about the fashion show, because we want to blow that thing up.
So as far as the business goes, it's Hairstyles by J Mott. I'm located in Ackworth, Georgia. Should I say the address on here
You
or
can,
no?
yeah, that's fine.
4514 Cobb Parkway North, Ackworth, Georgia, 30101. You guys can find the information on my Instagram, which is hairstyles underscore J Mott. That's JMOTT. And then also we are hosting a fashion show April 11th. Doors open at 5 a.m. for Q&A, question and answers of the designers. We are having 5 designers that are coming out. The theme is elements. Our goal is to bring an exclusive experience that's kind of different than what you would think of at a regular fashion show. We're gonna have a poet, a harpist, and good vibes. So you guys can come out. Like I said, doors open at 5. The show actually starts at 7. You can purchase tickets on Eventbrite or go to our Instagram at Roots to Runway and click on the link in the bio to purchase tickets.
And if someone can reach out to me and show me how to put all that stuff in my description and all of that, I would connect and have a link, but I'll make sure I have some information for you guys for that. And once again, we want to thank Jamiah for coming on the show and giving us some insight on being a young powerhouse entrepreneur, letting us know that you're never too young, never give up, and keep the faith. And like I say, once again, I'm proud of you being a girl dad. You're doing your thing. And like I say, you can count on me, and I will be bringing the crew to see you. And hey, look forward to it. Thank you for coming on. And peace out. Check us out and look forward to our upcoming episodes. And talk to you guys soon. Take care for now.
Thank you.